Pop. What we're going to do is we're going to take a look at some of the stories that are trending today, in the news right now. And so one of the stories that we're trending here is they came out with a story last night. They said that there was an earthquake of 3.4 magnitude.
Yeah.
In North Korea, right at the nuclear test site. They said that there was an earthquake of 3.4 magnitude. And now it looks like today they're saying earthquake in North Korea briefly stokes nuclear fears. I'll read the article. It says, earthquake in North Korea briefly stokes nuclear fears. A minor but mysterious earthquake in North Korea on Saturday, close to where the country recently conducted a nuclear test, briefly set off concerns it might have been caused by an explosion. Though South Korean officials tried to allay those fears. The quake was detected in an area around Kyushu in northern Korea, 6 kilometers northwest of where the North conducted its 6th most powerful nuclear test on September 3rd. According to an official from South Korea's Meteorological Association. It says the area isn't an area where natural earthquakes normally occur. So, you know what I think? My personal opinion on this one is I smell something. I smell something here. The reason why I smell something is last night they reported on the earthquake in the area where they're doing the nuclear tests, right?
Yeah.
And now today they're saying that there was no nuclear test. Well, how do you get an earthquake without a nuclear test? Are they trying to cover up and trying to bamboozle their way out of North Korea committing another nuclear test at this point? I just wonder, it makes me very suspicious of them. So let's move on to another story because that's not a real interesting story this morning. Now, let me take a look at the U.S. news here. There's an awful lot going on in the world right now, NFL owners should stand up to Donald Trump on national anthem protests. This is from Sports Illustrated. Well, isn't Sports Illustrated part of the mainstream press? Aren't they?
I don't know.
You don't know? I think Sports Illustrated is part of the mainstream media.
Sports Illustrated, yeah, might be.
I think they are, And they want Donald Trump to stand... they want people to stand up to Donald Trump on national anthem protests. So let's go here and see what this is all about. NFL owners should stand up to Donald Trump on national anthem protests. With his threat at the United Nations this past week to totally destroy North Korea if necessary, and his labeling of North Korean leader Kim Jong-un as Rocket Man on the suicide mission, President Donald Trump escalated his war of words with a country flirting with a nuclear strike. Few world leaders at the General Assembly cheered him. Well, I'll tell you honestly, I don't think many world leaders are behind him that much, really. They should be linking in behind him a little bit more, in my opinion. It says, on Friday, Trump got his applause by hurling a tough talk at American de facto national pastime, NFL football, at a rally in Huntsville, Alabama, in support of Republican Senator Luther Strange. Trump cursed some of its players and mocked the game itself. Wouldn't you love to see one of those NFL owners, when somebody disrespects our flag, to say, get that son of a beep off of the field right now. He's fired. He's fired. Okay, I got to read more into this. Why are they disrespecting the flag? It says when somebody disrespects the flag. Well, if they're going to disrespect the United States flag, I would say that I agree with Trump. Get them off the field. You know, and he says he's fired. He's fired. What's all this really about anyway? NFL owners should stand up to Donald Trump on national anthem protests. Now, I'm going to look into this one a little bit more because I think this is a bunch of nonsense that they're cooking up to try to give Donald Trump bad press again. And they're constantly trying to cook something new up, don't you think? Yeah. How many times have they been trying to cook something up out of nothing to try to give Donald Trump bad press? What?
Yeah.
They have, haven't they?
Yeah.
All along. Do you remember the bad press they tried to give him, saying that he wasn't duly elected, and they went out and they did the recount? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And it cost an awful lot of money, didn't it? Millions. Honestly, it cost millions of dollars for that recount. And that was bad press that they give him. They've tried over and over again. I think this is just something new that they're cooking up. And Sports Illustrated is right in there, aren't they? Look at them. They must be mainstream media, you know. Generally, I've liked Sports Illustrated. The part I like the most is the swimsuit issue. You like the swimsuit issue? Have you ever seen a swimsuit issue?
No.
Oh, you'd like the swimsuit issue. You know? You've never seen a Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue.
What, with bathing beauties?
Yeah. You think you'd like it?
Never seen it.
You've never seen it? Okay, maybe I can find a cover here for you, and I'll let you take a quick look at the cover, you know. S-P-O-R-T, Sports Illustrated swimsuit. Here we go. And now let's go to the images here. And, take a look. Take a look at this one right here. What do you... tell me what you think. What do you think of her?
Well, what's that got to do with Sports Illustrated?
What? Well, this is how they make their big bucks every year. This is the most. This is the most. This is how Sports Illustrated really gets in there and makes the big bucks, because this is when the men really buy this issue. The issue that's got all these girls in it. You know.
Oh yeah.
This is Hunter McGrady. Was photographed by Joseph McLeod in an Anguilla swimsuit. What do you think of her swimsuit? You like it?
It's blue.
Yeah, but I know it's blue, but what do you think of her figure?
Yeah, I think it's good.
Yeah? So this is what the Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue is. It's a lot of these girls, the whole thing, it's just full of girls, all dressed up in bikinis and stuff, and they get the prettiest girls that they can find.
Well, it's the only thing to keep that Sports Illustrated in the news.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So you think that's their... I think like you. I think that's probably the big thing about Sports Illustrated. So let's see what else we can find here. Iran is conducting a new missile test despite Trump's pressures. So the Iranians are at it again.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. They fired a new missile, ballistic missile, and they're testing it. So it's not just the North Koreans, you know. It's the Iranians, too. What do you think Trump's going to do, you know, about that? Glenn?
What can he do?
Well, I don't know. He's got a lot at his disposal. He's got... okay, Kim Jong-un is taking on the U.S. directly. You know, I think, personally, that Kim Jong-un fired a nuclear test there the other night. And I think that they're not taking that into consideration, because what else would cause a 3.5 earthquake? What do you think? I think it was another nuclear test, don't you? It says Kim Jong-un taking on the United States directly. He sidelines China and South Korea. Seoul, South Korea. Over the years, as North Korea raced to build a nuclear arsenal, the world has often turned to its neighborhood for help, China, because of its economic leverage on North and South Korea, because it would suffer the most in a military confrontation. Now, the North Korean leader Kim Jong-un has enraged a dangerous war of words with President Trump. You know what he did, don't you?
What?
Trump called Kim Jong-un the Rocket Man, you know? And then Kim Jong-un called Trump the... What did he call Trump? He had a funny... I can't even think of the name of it. It basically meant senile old man, what he called Trump. A Dogon or something like that. Dogart or something like that. I think it started with a D. Trying to remember what the word was he used for Trump. I think it was Dogart or Dogart or something like that. But it meant senile old man. So he's calling Trump an old man, you know, and not only a regular old man, he's calling Trump a senile old man, you know, and they're war of words together. But Trump did start it by calling him Rocket Man first. You gotta admit that's kind of funny, don't you? He calls him Rocket Man. Okay, let's see what else we got here going on. Well, there's a volcano in Bali. And the Australians are warned to check their travel plans as the volcano is rumbling. So that's apt to blow at any time. Oh, and here's a big story right here. Catalonia in Spain wants to vote for independence. And the Spanish government right now is strong-arming the people in Catalonia. And they're not going to allow them to vote. This is a direct violation of the democratic process. In other words, they're trying to do. They're supposed to be a democratic country. Spain is supposed to be a democratic country, but they're not acting in a democratic fashion. You understand what I'm saying? And the world is very slow to catching on to this for some reason. The world is very slow at catching on that Spain's not being democratic, even though it's supposed to be a democratic country. You know? And now they're coming to the spotlight, and the world is starting to see that Spain is not democratic. And the rest, they claim to be in a democratic country in a democratic European Union. But they're not being democratic. You either are what you profess to be or you're not, you know? And so what they need to do is Catalonia wants to vote, and they're not going to allow them to vote, which is undemocratic. So Catalonia is voting on independence, you know? And they're trying to call it off. They're trying to use strong arm. They're trying to use the police to actually wrestle these guys to the ground physically with force. But you know, the thing about this is, if they're allowed to do that, then you might as well kiss all over the whole world. You might as well kiss democracy goodbye. There will be no more democracy if they can get away with doing this, because they'll set a precedent for all the other countries to become undemocratic. And so it is a point where the people need to sit up and take notice of this, you know. What else is going on here? Cheap solar panels. Cheap foreign-made solar panels are flooding the market. Oh, you know, that's an idea that we could actually convert over to solar here, you know. You ever thought of that?
Yeah.
Using cheap solar panels, and that way we wouldn't be so connected to the power grid, you know. Walmart wants to access your fridge. What's that all about? Are they going to try to sneak in and spy on you from your fridge? Is that what they're doing? 9 reasons you should buy an iPhone 8 instead of a iPhone X. This is an article in Business Insider. Well, first off, I don't even think you need the Model 8 besides the iPhone X. All that Apple's doing right now is they're building these new iPhones. They're basically the same old iPhone. It's the previous iPhone. And they're doing it for these people who have to have the newest, latest, greatest, best, you know. And they just keep popping them out, kind of the way Windows used to pop out new versions of Windows. You know, first Vista, and then Windows 8, and then Windows 9, and all this kind of stuff. Windows 8.1, and on and on and on it goes. Every time charging their customers more money for the new one. But the new one's no different. It doesn't do anything different than the old one. You know what I mean? And so that's what they're doing with these iPhones, because they're desperate to keep Apple Corporation high on the stock market index and stuff, so that the company is like get huge profits and all this kind of stuff. But eventually people are going to catch on that the new iPhone is basically the same thing as the old iPhone. And I think that's what this article's about. It says 9 reasons you should buy an iPhone 8 instead of an iPhone X from the Business Insider. Well, maybe the previous model could be actually better than the new one. What do you think, Glenn? Is that possible?
Mm-hmm.
And look at the prices these start at. Now, we're talking US dollars. These 3 phones start at $699, $799, and $999. $999 for a stupid phone. I mean, the thing is only this thick, and it's only tiny. It fit right in your pocket. $900. Could they charge any more for that thing? The new iPhone X. Okay, so why there? It says there are several reasons it's worth considering an iPhone 8 instead of holding out for the iPhone X. What are the reasons here? It says this is probably the most important reason to consider the iPhone 8 is because of its functionality. They're all identical according to functionality, it says here. It says the iPhone 8 and the 8 Plus are powered by the same brains as the iPhone X. So basically they got the same chip inside them. Well, if a person has an iPhone 8 and they're going to upgrade to an iPhone X, they're basically buying the same phone again. It's just that it's got the X written on it. But see, they have to have the newest and latest. This is the way people are nowadays, you know. We live in a society that's very, very spoiled, you know. Now, it looks like most of the other news here is just entertainment type of news. It looks like we've run out of serious stories. One last story here. It says, studies suggest Neanderthals enjoyed long childhoods.
Neanderthals, they're dead and gone.
But I want to know. Now, they've made this news story. Studies suggest Neanderthals enjoyed long childhoods. If all they've got is a few tiny little bone fragments, right? Are you following me so far? Now, here's a picture of the bone fragments. What do you think of that? Look, of a Neanderthal. Look, it's just bone fragments, right?
Mm-hmm.
How does these researchers know that they enjoyed long childhoods just from looking at a few bone fragments?
They don't.
Truth is told. Truth is told. They don't. They don't. So why did they make this stupid article? I'm not even going to read it because I think that it's all bullshit, because there's no way that they could ever know that a Neanderthal enjoyed a long childhood from looking at a few bone fragments. Look, and I don't even think that these bone fragments match. I think a few of these bone fragments in this picture here, some of them have come off of a chimpanzee, some of them have come off of gorillas, and they've put them all together and said it was a Neanderthal. They've got a little fragment of the top of the head, a little fragment of the jawbone, and a few teeth. But these could be chimp teeth. I think that they're making this whole thing up, you know, all together. There is another possibility I've thought about Neanderthals. That Neanderthals, if they were a real species, and I'm kind of doubtful, But going by the thickness of the bones, Neanderthals were not like us. You know that, don't you?
Yeah.
They had really thick, heavy, dense bones.
Mm-hmm.
And the density of the bone determines how strong you're going to be. And we got light, thin, fragile bones. These other species, like apes and stuff, their bones are much thicker, and that's why a chimpanzee is so strong. You could take a chimpanzee, and you can throw him in a cage in a fight to the death with Mike Tyson. And the chimpanzee can only be half the size of Mike Tyson. But they both know that it's a fight to the death. Well, I'll tell you what, the chimpanzee would come out the winner. You know that?
Yeah.
But the problem is he might be missing an ear or two. Yeah. You're supposed to get that joke, That's a little bit of, anyway. So listen, we'll catch you guys later in the next issue. And bye-bye for now.